Good morning to you, my friends, wherever you may be in the world today. Alan Clements here from Ubud, Bali. July 16th, 2023. And welcome to my psychic abode. Please be patient, if I may invite you. I have an ongoing something, an allergy, and I am deeply immersed in this chosen vocation to create an extraordinarily simple, pure, natural set of songs for a film that I'm deeply honored to say seems to be coming to beautiful fruition step by step. Today's talk, sharing, it's a concept attributed to the Buddha that has been active for many decades in my life, but even more intimately the last few weeks, Kalama. And I'm not sure that I understand it in any way that pedagogy and scholars, academics, highly respected nuns or monks may understand the meaning of Kalama. But it's not that I don't care, but I don't care. Because the Dharma, like my fingerprint, is infinitely unique to the individual's way to embrace this concept of Dharma, or lawfulness, uniqueness and lawfulness. Very interesting confluence of ideas, and how to navigate the meaning of words that you read or that you hear through the filters of one's own, call it, consciousness. That, I want to say invisible, but it's not invisible at all, is it? That highly discernible, often neglected area of existence called everything, consciousness. Consciousness, this infinite ecosystem of conditions that includes thoughts and images and feelings and perceptions, just even to pause and to include infinite memories from infinite sources on the landscape of infinity. that leaves us a very challenging situation to try to understand so-called identity on a landscape of infinity. And yet, there you are, there I am, here we are on this planet, spinning around a sun star at some 25,000 miles an hour, so we're told. Being kept warm and food grown from an extraordinary event called a sun, 96 million miles away, in a solar system, in a galaxy, in a universe with hyperdimensions, intersecting with black holes and white holes and all the physics that we know, and where I sit way out here on the outside as a kindergarten student of existence. And wow, how do you and I make sense of learning to inhabit this word Kalama, which is this sacred plague for me, if you will. You can't escape it. The Buddha was said to have said that Kalama is the meaning of becoming one's own best friend, and not to be alarmed or distracted by noise. You know, you're in the room with your most sacred angel, And everything wants to take psychic, emotional, biological, emotional space from that sacredness. That's life, right? Wars, genocide, ambient sound, insects, disease, old age, death, gravity, time, wars, dementia, misinformation, propaganda, indoctrination, politics, polarization, duality. And within it all, there's this thing called music. I don't know about you, but I have a thing with music. Musicality. The aesthetics of musicality. The honoring of originality. Uniqueness. Aesthetics, originality, musicality, sensuality. All those, I want to say, feminine qualities of heartfulness, of being in this, I want to take some of your space from you. Existence. Always wanting to take something from us. And what is the felt emotional texture of this taking something from me against my will? Therein lies the confluence of freedom and bondage, right? Stay with me, hang with me. I just, in free-flowing trans ketamine psychedelic spaces here. And it comes back to the word kalyanamita, friendship. I love the word friendship, loyalty to qualities of consciousness that give me a greater sense of stature, dignity, confidence, refuge, poise, patience, determination, steadfastness within the breeze, the wind, the storm, the hurricane, the tsunami. And does it ever demand that we become more and more attentive to navigational skills? Who could ever imagine the demands upon being alive that become even more demanding day by day, week by week, even among the privileged, where there's some predictability of security and health, food, shelter, medicine, kindness, hands. I think about the word kalyanamita and overcoming my biases and prejudices and little cute associations with self-love and self-compassion, and how to become my Dalai Lama, how to become my Buddha, how to become my lover, how to become my, that place that you go to when you seek intimate, confidential dialogue with the most intimate, innermost places of your psyche and source and soul. Allyship at the confluence of interiority and shadow and conditioning and uncertainty and mystery, all that stuff beneath the surface of the ocean that we normally can't see from the shoreline. Include, Alan, more and more of yourself, and be less afraid, as it's been said, of the universe. Turning the complexity into the victory of compassion. So rare do we find those individuals out there that care about the well-being of others. So beautiful to say, so challenging to embody. I walked down the streets here in Ubud, and now there's so many people living on the streets. Most of them women, young girls, all of them with children of different ages. Most of them with infants in their arms breastfeeding on the most congested sidewalks, with motorcycles on sidewalks and 6, 7, 8 of them abreast on the road, and cars and SUVs, and there they are. There you are, there we are. And that quality of caring, and how easy it is just to walk by, right? To walk by. And that vocation of caring, just that quality alone of Kalyanamitta, caring for yourself as a mother would a child. I walk by these women and I go like, wow, how am I caring for myself as this woman is caring for her infant, with her hand out, asking for something small, with a child at her breast, and I pause and I get into my Allen-esque theatrics of kind of like no longer looking down, if you know what I mean. I don't like looking down at her. So I've gotten in this kind of semi-courageous state of sitting crazily down with her and like just co-occupying shared space rather than going to breakfast. Interrupting the habit, like Kalyanamitta, one of the virtues, interrupting the comfortable neurotic flow of predictable behaviors. I love my friends who help support non-colluding rapports with me. And Alan, there's another way to look at things. Perhaps the essence of the Buddha's teaching of the Kalama Sutta, cannot emphasize enough. Kalama Sutta, to learn to think for yourself as the essence of Kalyanamittahood, learning to independently, critically, deeply feel into the information basis of one's own subset of phrases, words, ideas, beliefs. Can you psychedelicize sensitively enough, Alan, to just drop in and be your own psychedelic, unassisted, awakening lover, savant, angel, Buddha, Deva, and feel the beautiful unpleasantness of discovery, the beautiful, sacred, tragic opening of the heart to new dimensions of radiant light, freedom. It's not easy to give up the predictable sensitivities of security to, I won't say false idols, that's too easy, but convenient conditionings of security and comfort, blame and shame and right and wrong and good and bad and evil and light, even all the dualities that are so bright and so dark and so clear. How do I know what I don't know, right? That's a Kalyanamitta. To understand under all conditions, safeguard mindful intelligence at all costs. SOS, safeguard mindful intelligence at all costs. I write these things down so that I can remember them, feel them, as my Dhamma teachers in Burma who have long since passed, inhabit them as you would a warm bath. Immerse oneself in the FELT experience of interiority made real on the intimate landscape of the feminine. How do you feel these vibrational frequencies as poetry or music? Reverence as a concept, the reverence inherent in Kalyanamitta. When I think of my teachers and friends and allies and angels and lovers, it's reverential energy, right? It's so sensual, it's playful, it's goddess and gods dancing in this radically uncontrived naturalness. You hope that we keep living out of step with conformity, predictability, where we become unaligned out of the need to perform an image of ourselves that's incongruent with capital A, dissolving authenticity all the time into newness, originality of authenticity, originality of freedom, infinite gradations of everything. That's my new mantra, infinite gradations of everything, to keep me unparalyzed from the associations with convenient cultural dogmas, predictable psychologies, sources of income, the poetry of the pleaser, the jester, the joker, the lover. I dare even use the word the Dharma worker, the sex worker, the laborer of God. All the ways in which we keep ourselves easily chained, that's too convenient, but just bonded. Even the questioning of what chemistry means needs to become a vocation to free ourselves from anything whatsoever that isn't getting down, Alan, on the sidewalk and cohabitating shared space with the archetypal mother with the child at her breast. That could be you, that is you, that's her, that's your lover, that's your mother, that's the missing piece of your own being. How could I ever say myself is separate from that self? Really, when I'm breathing oxygen always as a gift from the outside, inside, outside, inside, outside. Where's the separation? Kalyanamita. There's such an edge there for me because all of the most important men have died. I don't say that with grief, I say that with tears. Deeper than grief, deeper than love, inclusivity of love, inclusivity of grief. These special bonds, women know that with women. Men often don't know the specialness, the rarity to be able to associate with a wise man. I've been blessed in my own maverick, crazy madness to have the good sense to be a reasonable, crazy madman at the foot and the feet and the floor of crazy, wild men, teachers, mentors, prophets, anti-saints that just said, hey man, you are so fucking crazy that you navigated a trailer court on the east coast of Virginia with 2 military family and came all the way to Burma and sat here at the footsteps of the so-called other, and you want to know your own mind? Cocaine addict, morphine addict, sex addict, alcohol addict, caffeine addict, nicotine addict, culture addict, capitalist addict. All of it was revealed. I said, yes, yes, yes. Illuminate that which I couldn't trust in myself as an identity to unfold from my own self-harm, my own self-generated suffering. Dukkha was the most gifted concept I've ever heard in the universe. The Buddha's first noble truth. The truth of intrinsic trauma. Yes. And they said yes. Yes. There is no way that you can escape from all the dimensions of suffering and disquietude, even the bliss of rapture. If there's one iota of craving and attachment, you'll feel it. It's just a lawful Dhamma. It's not wrong. It's just, aha. The coexistence with conditions with freedom. Yes. There is no resolution from any historical ancestral trauma. It's infinite. The oceans are infinite beyond the 7 great seas. They exist in all dimensions, all times. There is no first condition to death murder, rape, killing, starvation, infinite conditions. I cried and cried and cried at the foot and the feet on the floor of these teachers in this Kalyanamita relationship of arrival to those who no longer colluded with me in what they call ditthi, wrong views of consciousness. You can be your own best friend, Alan Clements. You can be your own Dhamma teacher. That's the only way. I can only shine a light for you to see what you must see for yourself. Whoa, that rocked so deeply for me, so intimately for me. And a refusal, this is another key point for me, a refusal to participate in the pathological framing of pathology. Zero collusion with pathological framing. You are not flawed based upon no matter what history and culture and psychology has told you. You are a diamond, a Dhamma diamond. Never heard the concept until I met my Kalyanamitas and they began to introduce me to me. More and more of me awakening to the discovery of me, including more of me, rather than the shame as being who I am. Relax your hold on these proclivities, these conditions, and become a luminous, bright light by knowing how to polish your own diamond. Wow. Welcome to meditation, right? Welcome to interactive, co-liberating spaces with other. Anyway, thank you for going along on this journey with me today. Just can't quite get enough of the word Kalyanamita. And I don't know where I'll go with this, but there's something about challenging existing culturally sanctioned paradigms. I use these words and I want to explore them more. The commodification of consciousness, the commercialization of cetasika, states of mind, the commodification of psychological, cultural bands of so-called acceptable, often embedded, disguised patriarchal paradigms of capture, pathological framings. I've seen so many conversations in my mind's eye with, primarily in the country of Myanmar, with prisoners of conscience. I mean, that concept is so rad. I'm a prisoner of conscience. I refuse to participate in the lie. I refuse to collude with comfort. I refuse to enter the cauldron of false security. I stood up to the man, the dictator, totalitarian psychologies, inside, outside, everywhere, the ecology of conformity, in the insidious nature of M-A-R-A, Mara. I invite every one of you to dose, microdose, medium dose, high dose, placebo dose, and imagine the most luscious, delicious, terrifying expressions of existence and take the genie out of the bottle. Don't just listen to AI. Prompt your own unrecognized organic intelligence through creativity, awe and wonderment and poetry, sensuality, sexuality, existential eroticism, wonderment. Mara is not to be feared as much as she, he, it, they, them, whatever you want to call. I'm here to illuminate your Kalyanamita. Thank you, Mara. I will dance with you. I will dance with death. I will dance with poverty. I will dance with every element of this chorus, with this music, with this symphony, with this theater, this mad world, this incredible miracle that we're embedded in against my will. I did not seek to be human, that I can see in this context. However, Kalyanamita, essence, Kalama Sutta, think for yourself. Learn to be an independent thinker. My Kalyanamitas supported me in understanding. Think for yourself. What are the attributes, Mr. Clements, of independent thinking? Safeguard mindful intelligence. I'm very fond of this, and I know it's melodramatic, at all costs. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Take refuge in the Buddha. Take refuge in mindful intelligence at all costs. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Take refuge in knowing that you can lawfully interact with conditions and perception and ideas and beliefs for the distinct purpose of the third noble truth, liberation from greed, anger, and delusion. I just love that. That there is a way, the fourth noble truth, the way to liberate from false idols, from Stockholm syndromes that feel good but are inherently delusional, enslaving. I don't know about you, and I'm going to close here. Something about the radiance of freedom. It's so rad. You know, can never say it enough. Take away my voice, and I'm losing it today, but not really. It's just inhibited by conditions and rain and too many substances in and out, too many of this, not enough of that, whatever. Take away your perception, your ears, your eyes, your hands. I often just squeeze my fingers like this and just feel myself. And just the inherent yoga of that neuroplasticity, of not forcing my hands open, but being in the infinite gradation of freedom. I can use these hands. I can use my eyes. I can look upon this woman on the sidewalk in central Ubud, and I don't have to look down from her. I can say to myself, there's a conscience inside of your own consciousness, Alan. And it says, be at the same level as her. For some reason, there's something there that appeals to your sense of duty and stature and dignity and non-hierarchy and inclusivity. Study those felt formations inside of your own consciousness. Know those. Become Dhamma literate on a felt, somatic, deep level of inclusivity. Include. That could be you, Kalyanamita. Think for yourself. Be free enough to be free to do it differently. Slow it way down. Slow it way down. Be so original that you've never done it before. That was the encouragement of my Kalyanamitas in Burma, the late Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw and the late Sayadaw U Pandita, and all the women, all the men, all the yogis, all the yoginis, all the nuns, all the humans, all the devas, all the brahmas, all the animals, all beings everywhere. Their contribution to keeping alive the radiance in this context of beingness, the radiance of freedom, original liberation. That's your Dhamma, Alan. What will it be today? Slow down, feel, no hurry to get to the next. And within that deep interiority of what I call MQ, mindful intelligence, inhabiting that, what can you do to gift yourself the highest expressions. Play high, Alan. Play high in your in-breath. Death is real. It may be an illusion, but it's a real illusion, and it's a real death. Discontinuity is there. What will you do with the preciousness of a full breath? Slow way down. Feel, know, inhabit, listen. And for me personally, I know it's a little bit of a elitist challenge not to walk by the woman on the street holding my baby, holding her baby, holding our baby. What will you do there in that exchange to contribute in the most simple way to life on the terms of conscience and dignity and the most simple gift of life, generosity, dana, giving back, kalyanamita. What is the essence of these teachings for you is the meditation for us. So from my heart to yours, thank you for tuning in. I will conclude today with, I begin early in the morning at 2 a.m. my time here tonight, 11 a.m. Pacific time on the west coast of North America. I begin a 3-part, 2-hour, every Sunday seminar, global video seminar. I'm told we have about 60 people from around the world, where I am extemporaneously going to take a deep dive into an area of the intersection of mindful intelligence, open awareness, embodied all senses meditation, which is the way that I meditate, and the literal and metaphorical meaning of microdosing, and literally in the metaphorical meaning of the psychedelic. I mean like micro to maximize meta expansion of presence in Dhamma. That's such a key, all-inclusive portal for me. I cannot find a more inclusive word that holds my archetypal mother as a child to me. My own Kalyanamita embraces the word Dhamma. And what does that mean to me? Well, this 3-part, 3 Sundays, today and the following 2 Sundays for 2 hours, mindful intelligence, open meditation, and microdosing. If you want to join this, if you go to my website, Alan Clements, under events, there you can sign up. It's offered freely. And please tell your friends. And I'm really looking forward to going to bed early this evening, to wake up at about 1:30 in the morning, to from 2 to 4 dive in with people from around the world and explore the intersection of the 3 most important, I would call them existential memes in my life right now: mindful intelligence, meditation, and microdosing. So from my heart to yours, thank you. Hope to see you soon, and have a beautiful day.